And we will shine, baby girl, it's you and I. Baby, I won't leave your side. Girl, you my ride or die. Like a diamond, we will shine. Baby girl, it's you and I. Baby, I won't leave your side.
In the end, I'm your TP. I'm the beach, you're the bikini. The remote control, you're the TV. DVD player, I'm the CD. I can see us closer than 3D. Girl, your love is sweeter than kiwi. I can be your Adam, you can be Eve. I'm gon' bite that apple, believe me. I've been searching hard for your love, like a miner digging for gold. And if haters were the ocean, we would stay afloat with the boats. And if you were 4 tires, I would let you ride on my road. If I were your stripper pole, would you work me until I'm rusty and old?
Oh yeah, right. You my ride or die. Like a diamond, we will shine. Baby girl, it's you and I. Baby, I won't leave your side. You my ride or die. Like a diamond, we will shine. Baby girl, it's you and I. Baby, I won't leave your side.
Angel face with angel eyes, you must be heaven sent. Our hearts had a collision and it, mind you, left a dent. This love is meant to happen, girl, it's not an accident. So if you give me your heart, I promise I will represent. You're my pieces, I'm your puzzle. You're my rain, I'm your puddles. You're my teddy bear like Snuggles. If it's team us, let's huddle. We can be strength in life struggles. You're my red nose with no muzzle. I can be the product, you can be the dollars. Girl, let's orchestrate this hustle.
Oh yeah, right. Girl, you my ride or die. Like a diamond, we will shine. Baby girl, it's you and I. Baby, I won't leave your side. You my ride or die. Like a diamond, we will shine. Baby girl, it's you and I. Baby, I won't leave your side.
I am directions, you would be the destination. If I were an employer, would you choose my occupation? I must be a shovel, cause I'm digging you penetration. Girl, your love's got a hold on me like procrastination. If I were your telescope, you'd be my shining star. Beautiful was a crime, I'm arresting you like the law. My love is your parking garage, girl, come and park your heart. If I'ma slide on the playground, would you slide down my sliding board?
Oh yeah, right. Girl, you my ride or die. Like a diamond, we will shine. Baby girl, it's you and I. Baby, I won't leave your side. You my ride or die. Like a diamond, we will shine. Baby girl, it's you and I. Baby, I won't leave your side. I won't leave your side.
I got problems, relationship not among them. And if they bump me again, you're the only one I want. All of them, now they want my Betty, oh yeah. She wanna see romance, oh yeah. My body's so interesting, oh yeah. She get it back from big testing, oh yeah. I'm falling hard for you, oh yeah. Hard times too, oh yeah. My bad too, oh yeah. Feeling my bad too, oh yeah. All of them, now they want my Betty, oh yeah. She wanna see romance, oh yeah. My body's so interesting, oh yeah. She get it back from big testing, oh yeah. Daddy, I'm for you, oh yeah. All for you, oh yeah. My back too, oh yeah. Are you feeling my back too, oh yeah. My baby tell me say, she love my style. She really wanna be the one to walk down. Let me just die if I ever break your heart. If I ever lie, if I ever leave you, let me bow. Everything going up, you the only one who keeps me calming down. The way you give me peace of mind, I know so you don't ever wanna see me frown. Now they got love I'm looking for, doing anytime. Where you are, where you come from, where you from come. Son, I must not wanna compare. Oh, no, sorry, what she doesn't compare. Oh, no, Or if you force her to show yourself, she will lay you down flat, that's so bad. That's my baby, yeah. You can blow all your own race. That's my baby, yeah, yeah, yeah. All of them now they want my Betty, oh yeah. She wanna see romancing, oh yeah. My body's so in Jasmine, oh yeah. She get it back from Big Justin, oh yeah. Falling hard for you, oh yeah. Hard comes through, oh yeah. My back too, oh yeah. Feeling my back too, oh yeah. All of them now they want my Betty, oh yeah. She wanna see romancing, oh yeah. My body's so in Jasmine, oh yeah. She get it back from Big Justin, oh yeah. Now they on for you, oh yeah. All for you, oh yeah. My back too, oh yeah. Are you feeling my back too, oh yeah.
Communication becomes convenient, enjoyable, and cheaper when you have the best application in your hand. D-Pro Global Social Media app gives you access to free global communication and networking. With the D-Pro Global Social Media app, you can do live video chat, live audio calling, live text messaging, live group video and audio conferencing. Not only that, you also do fast sharing, creating and posting to your story, post engagement with emojis, and more. The Depot Global Social Media app does in-app purchases, in-app searching, storytelling. The app also allows you to create video, audio, text, and internet link posting. Get the best app today with 100% data security and end-to-end encryption. Add customization and privacy settings to the Depot Global Social Media app and enjoy 24/7 endless communication. Download the Depot Global Social Media app on Google Play Store and Apple Store and enjoy endless communication. Visit our website on www.depot-idb.com or email us at info@depot-idb.com. Depot Global Social Media app, making communication easier. Do you care to know why thousands of people have switched from using oil-bomb paint to using Une Zize quality paint? Zize quality paint is a high-quality American non-hazard latex paint that doesn't fade or peel off your walls when applied. Zize quality paint comes in variety of colors that you can choose from. We even customize our customers' paint based on their request just to satisfy their desire. Stop by at any of our 3 branches at Police Academy Junction opposite NP Fueling Station, Baptist Seminary opposite Highway Gas Station, and Simple Bridge opposite Michael Plaza. Zize quality paint can be used for both interior and exterior painting works. Customers living overseas can pay through Zelle on 217-720-8858. You can contact us via cell numbers 0777-366-142 or 0770-496-273 or +121-772-08858. Think Zize, think quality.
Spicing up, what's next?
Made with ginger, coconut water, natural juice flavor, vitamins and minerals is Muncie Power Drink. Muncie Power Drink helps reduce high blood pressure, get rid of toxins, help improve children and adult memory. It also helps the body fight effects of excess sugar. Muncie Power Drink has no added sugar, no artificial flavors, and all natural ingredients. It is a healthy drink for just everybody. It has 4 natural juice flavors: pineapple, mango, strawberry, and turmeric. For wholesale or retail purchase, visit major supermarkets across Monrovia and its environs. If you are outside Monrovia, you can do your purchase at Kakata Supermarket and Ataro Business Center in Ganta. You can also visit our store on the O Road, right next to the American School. For more information, call us on 0770-307-572 or 0776-580-730. Muncie Power Drink, not just your regular energy drink. Allen Bernard International, or ABR, is a management consulting firm with a team of consultants and associates who focus on growing and transforming home healthcare agencies nonprofits, and small businesses in other industries as well as individuals. Our services include ABR Business Support Services, ABR Accounting and Tax Services, and ABR Anti-Money Laundering Compliance Services. At ABR, we bring to each assignment dedication and commitment, experience and skills, performance-based process, integrated solution teams, and client relations. For more inquiries on our services, call phone number 469-378-3955. That's Allen Bernard International, or ABR, transforming business through ideas.
Do you need a car?
Ready for an upgrade?
Then come to Sika Motors, sole distributors of Toyota vehicles, Mitsubishi vehicles, and Yamaha motorbikes, genuine accessories and spare parts.
You name it, we have it. We have the 2022 brands of Toyota vehicles. Select from our new Toyota Starlight,
Toyota Belter, Toyota Rush.
We've got the best deal in town. Through our Sika Motors financing schemes with selected banks, EcoBank Liberia and UBA Liberia, starting at the lowest as 500 USD. You won't believe these prices. Come for quality, reliability, and durability. Take a spin and let's make a deal.
Sika Motors on the UN Drive at Town, Bushra Island, or call Sika Motors on +231 775 987 758 or email cmarketing@cfao.com. Sika Motors, drive with confidence.
We all know the headache we go through sending money to our loved ones, friends, and family in Liberia. High fees, long lines in banks, the usual complaint of the system being down, such a waste of time and energy. That is why I was very happy when I learned that SendWave is now in Liberia. So now I can send money anytime from anywhere directly from my smartphone to the MTN Lone Star Cell mobile money account of a loved one, friend, or family within seconds for just a tiny fee. So download SendWave now to your phone from your Apple Store or Google Play Store. Add your details, and don't worry, they are very safe and secure. And start sending money today. Don't forget to insert the promo code COSTA to get free $5 credit added to your first transfer. SendWave is secure, super fast, and by far the most affordable way to send money to Liberia. I'm Henry P. Costa and a very happy customer. Thank you.
Folks, wherever you are, welcome to another edition of the Costa Morning Show. Today is Wednesday, the 15th day of the second month, AD 2023. Over time, exactly 10:30 from my end. It's good to be here again with you this morning with another fascinating edition of the Costa Show. Good morning, Costa.
Good morning, boy. Sorry about that. I was on the phone call. How do you do, my man?
I'm pretty well. It's good to be here with you.
Same here. Very, very good to be here with you. Today is Wednesday, the 15th day of February, and the day after Valentine's Day. Valentine, people can be in trouble. You gotta post pictures. You gotta post there. You gotta post there. So many can be asking, my man, why you not post? But I got that one gonna be easy, you know. Why that one gonna be easy? That one gonna be easy. All right. So Noah Budeke, is it Noah Budeke get citizenship now?
I just hear it now for you because
Yes, but Baga, your microphone is low. Where is George? George, what a new mic.
From my end is kind of okay, and
Okay, now you're okay.
Yeah,
you're okay. You are okay now. Yeah, they said Noah Budeke got his citizenship now. That's why I read somewhere, and I think he appeared on a local talk show and he was talking about that. But yeah, good to be here today, Wednesday, the 15th day of February 2023. What's happening in town? What's going on?
Well, there are two things from my end I would like for us to look at this morning, and one is about Eddie Mervyn Snow, and another one is about the National Elections Commission. The National Elections Commission came out with a guideline for this election, and we are in the month of February, and from the
you mean the
6th timetable from the 6th of February to the 20th, but now is the period for the publication of voter registration centers. But since the 5th of February, now we are at the 15th day of February, there haven't been anything posted in any community that I know of that, this is where you will go and vote. There haven't been any jingle on radios.
This is where you will go and register, you mean?
Yes, to go and register to this particular point. And of course, if we just sit and look at all of these things going down and not talking about it, it's serious. It's very serious.
It is very serious, but I could not agree more with you. What does the timetable say? What you just said? The timetable says what?
From February 5th.
From February 5th.
From February 6th to the 20th.
From February 6th.
That's the period for the publication of voter registration centers.
And today is the 15th.
Today is the 15th.
And yet there has been no publication as to where you can do your BVR, your biometric voter registration.
Nothing. No jingle on radios. No, nothing. Advertisement in newspaper. Nothing. Yep.
This is serious, Waga. This is very, very serious. Now, that brings into question. Yesterday, I was chatting with a big brother of mine, Mr. Kiadi. He's running for the House of Representatives seat in Grand Cape County, and he was asking me whether I think we're on course for the voter registration, which should commence in March, which is next month. And I said to him, I think so, because they haven't announced anything otherwise. But what you just raised is important, Waka, because if the timetable states that from the 6th of February, which was what, last week, was it?
Yeah.
You have announced from the 6th of February to the 20th of February, they should announce the biometric voter registration centers where people can go to register to vote. But they haven't announced that. Now, today's somebody could say, well, they've got 5 more days. They've got 5 more days to make the announcement. But Wakai, they should do it the earliest so that people know where they need to go to register. They should, but they haven't said anything at all. What is going on? Again,
and Costa, I'm not just hold you there. The ending of the publication of voter centers on the 20th, and on that same 20th of February is the beginning of let me see, February is the beginning of the voter and civic education. So right after the publication of voter centers, the 20th should begin this voter and civic education for voters. So all of these things, when we can see the centers where we should go and vote, when we can see the centers where we should go and vote, what becomes of the official launch of the civil voter education in various communities? Just the centers that we can see where we'll go to vote, we can see if up to now we left 5 more days. We are left with 5 more days for NEP to publish the centers. From the 6th of February up until the 15th, but now we should know where we should be voting, and we can know where we are voting. Today is the 15th, and the 20th of this month to from the 20th of this month, we should be heading to the voter and civil education. Let me see, February 20th, official launch of the civil and voter education. That should be the 20th of this month.
Well, I'm not even certain that is going to happen, because if by this time you have not announced where people can register to vote, how prepared are you to begin the all-important voter and civic education? It is very important. Voter and civic education is very important. Is to encourage people to get out there to register to vote. Is to educate people on why it is important to register to vote. And this, my man, I'm concerned, Buckeye. I'm concerned. Do you know how many times these people have had to call off the thing? I mean, it doesn't even look like even the company that was awarded a contract. The company had said that they would require up to 5 months to prepare to supply the materials needed for the voter registration to commence. Has the NEC provided any update as to how prepared or whether they are on schedule?
Nope.
They haven't done that. They haven't told us. We see them having these useless workshops, but they haven't even announced, and they're not even telling the public what's going on. That is the scary part. Now, that is where the political parties need to step up and go and engage the NEC and ask them, you said this would happen at this time. It isn't happening as you said it would. What is going on?
And Costa, there are a lot of things that we have already crossed. And I stand to be corrected. Probably the political parties know about this. From the 23rd of January to the 10th of March, accreditation of party agents and media observation for VR. I don't know if political parties have started doing that. Then from the 6th of from the 23rd of January, okay, let me see. Let me come back here. Yeah, so media institutions need to be accredited. Up to now, we are not hearing anything about that. So we stay waiting because they say from the beginning of the 20th of the 6th of that's the 23rd of January to the 10th of March 2023, accreditation of party agents and media and observation team. So I don't know if parties have started doing that.
Let me tell you something. The political parties themselves need to stand up and engage the Elections Commission and the international community. The international community is financing these elections, more or less. In fact, more so than our own government. They are stakeholders in this process. The political parties, this is the one thing they all need to collaborate on. If there's anything they need to collaborate on, it is these elections that they need to collaborate on. For once, put aside their differences, the toxic infighting or squabbles, and go and engage, preferably from a united front, the international community, as well as the Elections Commission. Go and ask them. You said by the 5th of February, you would publish the centers where people would go or would be able to go and register to vote.
Yeah.
February 6th has come and has passed. Today is the 15th of February.
Yeah.
It's 5 more days. You said by the 20th of February, you would begin or roll out the voter and civic education program, which is very, very essential to educate the people on the need to vote, the need to register to vote, and also why they must get involved. You haven't. We don't even seem to believe that that's going to be on schedule, because why should we have any confidence that that's going to be on schedule, or that's going to happen as scheduled, as has been published, when the all-important publication of voter registration centers has not been made? Now, Boga, this is something that is very, very cumbersome. They have to go in various communities across the country to publish these lists of where people can go in and register to vote. They have to do that. It's a lot of work. If they can't even publish the list, that is something that they can print out themselves once these centers have been identified and the necessary arrangements with the owners of these properties have been made to print and publish these lists should not be a problem. No, it should not be a problem.
But Costa, we are out of time. Even in Mosurado, yeah, if I can know where I'm going to vote, what about the folks there in Nima County? Even those, even if they come up to do all the printing process of the document, when would they take it from Mosurado to Lofa County to Granjide and other places? When would they take it there? We left with 5 more days. Can you imagine that?
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm concerned. I recall Buckeye during the first thing we talked about it. We talked about it, and we said that we were under the impression that the commission was not prepared to commence the voter registration back in December, on the 15th of December. We were right. The date came, and they came out and they announced that they would not be able, or they had not prepared to roll out the voter registration exercise. That is exactly what I'm afraid might happen again. These people, it appears to me, just aren't capable to organize and hold these elections. I'm sorry, that seems to be the only truth that we must all accept and do something about as early as possible to avoid a national catastrophe, a constitutional crisis. If these elections are not held on schedule, we're going to have a problem. If these elections, if the precursor activities that should take place before the actual elections themselves do not happen when they should, on schedule, as announced, as published, we're going to also be in trouble, because there's a series of events and activities that must happen, that must precede the actual process. That must precede the actual election. And if these activities do, an election is not an event, it is an exercise that takes place over a prolonged period of time. Preparation has to go into that. A series of events and activities have to happen before we are prepared and ready to go and vote on voting day. An election is not an event, but it appears to me, based on what we've seen so far, that these people are not able to do this. And that is a problem. And let me tell you something. The quintessential and cardinal elements of an election that is acceptable, a credible election, they must be free, fair, credible, and transparent. Now, if all of these processes and stages that must be satisfied, that must be carried out before the actual election itself are not carried out in strict adherence to the guidelines and the regulations that are published, it would mean that the credibility, or the supposed credibility, transparency, and fairness with which the election should be held under that gamut, it's going to be terribly compromised. And so, and we who are the stakeholders in the process, the political parties, you don't see them saying anything.
Nothing.
We need to go and engage the National Elections Commission. The same thing with the census. The exact same thing with the census. Have they published any results yet, Parker?
No, up to now.
Were you counted? Did they count you?
Absolutely not.
Do you personally know people who were counted?
Some people are still complaining that
I saw some figures, some supposed census figures, and they don't make sense. I read it in one of our chat rooms, and the reason I almost intentionally and deliberately avoided talking about it on the show here is very simple. It's because I don't believe those numbers are legitimate. Not that I don't believe those numbers were the numbers that have been preliminarily published or that somebody was able to lay their hands on, but I just don't believe that those numbers reflect the reality in terms of the population of the country. So I didn't even treat it with a grain of salt, because I'm hoping that that is not true. The numbers that I saw, which someone said are the census figures, the census numbers, those numbers don't look right to me at all. Now, I saw a figure that says that the population is under what? Under 4 million. I don't know how that could possibly be possible.
What?
Yeah. Here's the thing. In 2008, when we did the last real census, not one as bad as this one, the population was put at over 4 million. So
Yeah.
are you saying to me that our population, instead of increasing, has decreased? The last census was done in 2008. From 2008 to 2022, how long is that? Okay. My math scores are bad. Is it 14 years or 12 years? 14 years.
14, yeah.
From 2008 to 2022, that's 14 years. Are you saying we haven't popped enough babies? Babies that were born in that same year, or babies that were born after that census were conducted? Are you saying we have not procreated enough to cause that figure to go up? And that figure has instead gone down. What has happened? Did we have a famine in the land? Did we see hundreds of thousands of people lose their lives? I mean, it makes absolutely no sense. So what are the actual figures from 2008? What was it? What did it
somebody say it was 3.5.
was?
Somebody say it was 3.5 in 2008.
That is not true. It was over 4 million people. That is not true. Your figure is absolutely incorrect. The census figure of 2008 was over 4 million people. We all know that. So where are you coming from? We have 3.5 million. The last time we were 3.5 million was in the 80s. Not even the Civil War that claimed the lives of a quarter of a million people saw our population at 3-point-something million. You are wrong. But I'm told they also have in the same the figures that I saw. They say the population of foreigners in the country, aliens. Yeah, the 2008 census put the figure at around 4.5 million people.
4.5 million. Yeah, that's what I know.
Close. That's what it was. Which is why we extrapolated. Our educated guess, our extrapolation was that the 2022 census will put the population well over 5 million people. Because you're talking a period of 14 years. You know how many babies have been born and they become teenagers within that 14-year period? If you were born a year after the census in 2008, say you were born in 2009, you should now be a 13-year-old teenager. How the hell on God's earth could the population possibly be put at under 4 million people? Are you kidding? What happened to 1 million people? We were 4.5 in 2008. Did we lose 1 million people to what? Famine?
Corona?
Yeah. Or did Ebola do that to us? Did Ebola and Corona claim? No, I don't believe that. For the figure to seem realistic to me, it would have to be over 5 million people. I mean, not just, it would have to be north of 5 million. I mean, significantly higher than 5 million, not just 5.1 or 5.2. I mean, I want to say like 5.5 or 5.6. The population has grown. People are born. Labyrinth said people are born. People are bearing children, not born children. You're bearing children. You don't born children. Oh, they man born plenty. The bad English, you bear. B-E-A-R. Born. It's a past participle. You can't born children. You can bear children. Anyway, I see if you go on no book, what they can say, oh, they man born. I born 5 children. No, you did not born 5 children. You bore 5 children. Oh, they'll be like, what, boy? The past tense of bear is bore. We have born. And you can say, when you say half, then you can use a past participle. Okay, anyway, enough with the grammar lessons. But let's move on. So, I'm waiting to see these figures. Why? If these figures do not make sense, we should not accept the census. Because we know lots and lots of people who were not counted. They were not counted. What I said right there was not counted. You were not counted, were you? No, you weren't. I know.
Nope.
Was George counted? How many employees do we have in our office? How many employees does Roots Holdings have? The parent company of the Costa Show. How many? 5. You're 5.
5, yeah.
Maga Kamara, co-host of the Costa Show, was not counted. That's 1. Mr. Sylvester Teves 9, the general manager of Roots Holdings, was he counted? Was Teves counted?
No.
Teves was not counted.
No.
Mr. George Guare, our production manager and chief tech, he's not technician, he's a production man. George Guare, were you counted?
The message they reached the Duboro side. So
George Guare was not counted. Mr. Emmanuel Weah, our operations manager. Mr. Emmanuel Weah, were you counted?
No, nope.
He was not counted. Mr. Anthony Heron Costa David, were you counted?
Nope.
None of my 5 employees were counted. None of my 5 employees were counted. So please, pray tell me, how could this census possibly be accurate? And guess what? The day they said we should all stay home is on a census holiday. The day we expected the most people to be counted. The most people were not counted. It was a useless holiday that caused people to lose millions of dollars in earnings. So, how can they say the census reflects the actual population of the country when lots and lots of people were not counted? Now, those of you who are in Liberia and are watching live on this podcast, on Facebook and on YouTube, raise your hand. If you were counted, say yes. If you were not counted, say no. And please be honest with us. We have no way of verifying whether you've been honest, but this is no immediate or any benefit to you to lie. There's no benefit in lying. So just help us with a little sampling that we're doing. If you were counted, say yes. If you were not counted, say no. If you're in Liberia, only if you're in Liberia. If you're in Liberia, so far we're seeing mostly no's. We have seen so far 2 yeses, well, 3 yeses, 4 yeses, but mostly no's. The no's outnumber the yeses. There you go. Come on. We should only see a small number of no's. And we should see mostly yeses. But that's the reality. The reality is that most people were not counted. Most people, at least on our podcast right now, but watching us live, are saying that they were not counted. Now that is a problem. Why? Because, so you are saying that all these people who stayed home, who were in country, who could have been counted, who could have been reached, were not reached. And I'm also saying these people, most of them are in Montserrat County. And most parts of Montserrat County are easily accessible. Now, if we have a problem with people in Montserrat County who should be easily accessible, were not assessed and counted, what say you of the people in the remotest parts of the country that are where the roads are impassable and where the people are hardly accessible, as are the people in Montserrat County? That is a problem. Imagine that, folks. Just let that sink in. The census was a bust operation by an endemically incompetent and corrupt government, characterized by blatant and blatant fraud, and as such, it must be discarded, it must be thrown out in the dustbin. No, when Boakai becomes president, we would have to conduct a brand new census, Boakai. We will have to do that. Unfortunately, we will have to. How would we know? You need the census information. You need that data. That is essential data that should be used in development planning, strategic development planning. You need to know the population of your country. You need to know the various. You need to know not just the overall population. You need to know the concentration of the population. You need to know where people are. You need to know the areas that are densely populated and the areas that are sparsely populated. You need that data. That is the data you need to do development planning, to know which areas to put a hospital, to know which areas to do this. And that is also the data that is used essentially to determine electoral thresholds. And new districts are established or created based on that data. And if that data is not credible, as is this one, how would you be able to inform, or what data would you use? What data would inform such strategic development planning, the provision of social services based on the population needs of the people? How would you be able to do that? Folks, please tell me. So are you saying that we wasted millions and millions of dollars of our own money and mostly millions of donor funds on an exercise that did not produce credible results that are realistic? Is that what you're saying? Okay. We would have to do a brand new census. That's it. That is what we would have to do when we come to power.
I don't know why the delay so much in publishing the result of the census, because
because the result not correct. They trying to mango library magazine mango. They trying to mango the result not correct. They look at it the way not correct. They look at it the way not correct. They say, talk it. What they will do? If we publish the result, the people will laugh at us. Now, let me tell you the conundrum that they are facing right now. You know what a conundrum is? There's one that you people on you. The conundrum with which the government is faced is they are pondering. Currently, the government is pondering as to whether they release the results as they are, which do not reflect the reality in terms of the population growth and everything, or whether they add yeast to the numbers to inflate the numbers. That is what they are pondering. That is the conundrum, the quagmire, the quandary which they are facing is, do we release these fake numbers or do we increase the numbers? Look, let me tell you something. These incompetent Salama swines just need to come to us and say, my people, we are PC and we want to inform you that we wasted your money, we wasted your time, and the census will have to be done again. That is all. But what do you propose? Do they add yeast to the numbers, or do they publish the numbers as they are, or do they come and go on their knees, prostrate before us, and beg for mercy, and admit for once that they're incompetent and they're good for nothing, Salama swines? What do they do?
No, they should apologize. But my problem here, Costa, they are still being backed by the UNFPA.
Okay, then let the UNFPA publish the numbers. If the UNFPA say the man, if the UNFPA trusts the credibility of those census numbers, let them publish it. Let the government give it there. And the UNFPA said, because you think you UN, so we accept any data you publish to us, let the UNFPA publish the numbers. If the UNFPA believes and stands by the credibility and the realisticness of those figures, let the UNFPA publish the data and not the government. Fiat, you think we're stupid here because you say you UN? We don't even trust you. Even the UN got corruption in there. So let me tell you something. Let the government just go on their knees and tell us that they blundered, that the census results do not make sense. The census were not correct. That's all they should tell us.
But Costa, and you know, there's this lady, the Vice President Joy Howard Taylor. You know, she was put it out that day. A few days from now, we'll come up with the results. We'll come up with a publication of what happened to the essence of blah, 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 blah. She took on the media, invited journalists, you know, made a lot of statement. Now she's mute. She was not even know where they stand.
Because the numbers don't make sense. But their problem is because a significant chunk of, I wouldn't say the majority, a significant chunk of the population was not captured. Perhaps I would estimate, and this estimation is based on nothing but my hunch, based on what we're saying, my analysis of the situation. I would estimate and dare to say that they did not even count up to 50% of the population. Yeah. So whatever numbers they have do not reflect the entire 100% of the population. Look, nobody expects that 100% of the population would be counted. I don't know what would be accepted as a realistic figure so that for a census to be considered credible and comprehensive. I don't know that, but I think it should be in a high 80s or 90s percentile. So you have to be able to say we counted about 90% of the population or 95% of the population. But I would say these people didn't even count 50% quite of the population. So whatever figures they have, the reason they can announce these figures is simple. Don't let them lie to you talking about they are busy, they are well immersed in tabulation and correlation of the figures. Okay, the census numbers they have already. They've had them for a long time. It should not be difficult for them to publish these numbers. It should not be. But the reason what they are dealing with right now, as I said to you, the conundrum, the quagmire, the quandary which they face right now is if we publish these numbers as they are, which do not reflect the population, the people are not going to accept it. The people are going to not accept it. And the population needs to believe these numbers. That's the problem. You need the population to believe that the numbers make sense. No, but they're not going to be able to publish these numbers and they don't want to add yeast to the numbers because it's not just them that are involved. It is the UNFPA as well. So the UN people, I can assure you, if these incompetent Salama swines were not working with the UNFPA, they would have added yeast to those figures. The UNFPA also now has to determine whether or not they would stand by the government to publish numbers that do not reflect even a 50% threshold or percentile of the population. They're not going to be able to do that. So that is a problem with which they are faced. So I say to them, just come forward, go on your knees and prostrate before us and beg us for mercy. Plead with us, beseech us, the population. That's the only way we'll forgive you. But you dare not publish any fake numbers because we would not accept them. That is it. We will not accept those numbers. Now, we're going to move on to something else. Noabudeke. So Noabudeke had his ceremony last week for his citizenship at the Supreme Court, at the Temple of Justice, not the Supreme Court. One of those courts, a civil law court, or one of those courts that administers the oath of office. So listen to this, okay? So Noabudeke, the Nigerian fella, what's his first name? Okay? What's his first name again?
Oh, I forget that many. And we used to sing on the show here.
Hey man, what's the guy's first name? Does anyone remember Noabudeke's first name? Noabudeke. Does anyone remember? Now, you may butcher his name all you want. Go right ahead, be my guest. But just tell us, what is his name? I just need somebody to help me with the first.
Yeah. The first. Hey, you ready to sing the man?
Hey, Nibe. Nubudisi Noabudeke. You know, the guy's name sounds like you're chanting something, like some kind of incantation that you're chanting. Yeah. Nubudisi Noabudeke. Now, Nubudisi Noabudeke was nominated by George Weah. But what was the first job to which he was nominated? Do you remember, Baka? He was nominated to be what? Election Commission boss.
Okay.
You recall?
Yeah.
And we made a whole lot of noise, and his nomination was withdrawn. The second post to which he was nominated, and he actually got in. And he was in the job. It was the LACC. He was at the LACC for a period of time, and then a dispute was arose that went before the legislature. He said the validity or the legitimacy of his citizenship was called into question, and he was recalled from there. Now, guess what happened? Noabudeke made the argument that he had a Liberian citizenship all along. Noabudeke had practiced law in the country, and law, the profession of law, is perhaps the only profession in Liberia that is protected by Liberian law, exclusively reserved to Liberian citizens only. So Noabudeke had been a practicing lawyer, and only a Liberian citizen may practice law. So how the hell did Noabudeke practice law for all those years and got nominated. Yes, you're right. The first job to which he was nominated was the LACC. He was appointed, he was nominated, confirmed, and then appointed to the LACC. The second job was the National Elections Commission, and we objected, I believe, and of course, he never got to take the job. But let me tell you something. Why am I saying all of this? I'm saying all of this to say, so is Nwabudike now telling us that he only recently, as of last week, upon the swearing of the oath of citizenship, become a Liberian citizen? Is Nwabudike telling us that he only became a Liberian citizen as of last week? This guy is a criminal. Because of this, Nwabudike should not be allowed. This is a serious ethical issue. Even the Supreme Court and the Bar Association this man should be disbarred. This man should not be allowed to practice law in the country. So he is telling us that it was only last week that he finally, legitimately become a Liberian citizen. But if you claim all along that you are a Liberian citizen and he acquired a Liberian passport, Nwabudike should also be prosecuted for fraud because he acquired a Liberian passport, which is exclusively reserved to Liberian citizens, but he had a Liberian passport. So now Nwabudike should be criminally prosecuted for the commission of fraud, for acquiring a Liberian document, an important document at that, which is reserved only for Liberian citizens. And he used that document to further his own interests in our country. So Nwabudike should be prosecuted, criminally prosecuted, because Nwabudike himself already has admitted by going and swearing an oath of office, an oath of citizenship last week is proof that Nwabudike was never a Liberian citizen all along when he claimed that he was. Now there is a video here. He appeared on a local talk show. Somebody posted a video in one of these chat rooms in which I am. I cannot find it right now, but the video is here somewhere. Nwabudike was never a Liberian citizen all along. Now, I have absolutely nothing against anyone becoming a Liberian citizen. In fact, not only do I support and have absolutely nothing against people of African descent, our African brothers and sisters becoming Liberian citizens, I also avidly support people of non-Negro descent becoming Liberian citizens. I mean, people who are people of a different race becoming Liberian citizens, although that's something that frightens many Liberians, and I understand where that fear comes from. And to me, it comes from a legitimate place. But that's not the issue here. That's a different topic for a different day. But the point that I'm making here is Nwabudike committed fraud. In other countries, before you are certified or qualified to become a citizen of that country, they must conduct an investigation of you. They must do their due diligence of you. And if you have committed crime, a felony of any sort, you will automatically be rendered ineligible to become, say, an American citizen. Before you are approved, you may set before you are even approved to even set the citizenship test, I believe, in the US, for example, you have to first pass. You have to first pass the check. You have to first pass the credibility check. If you are not credible, you will not, yeah, you're right, Brother Sakaman, they call it the character check. They have to check your character. So Nwabudike has not ever been a Liberian citizen. And as such, they should not allow Nwabudike to swear an oath to say he is now a Liberian citizen. They should not do that, Boga. They should not do that because he didn't pass. He did not pass at all. It is sad, Boga. It is sad. It is sad. But let me circle back with you there. So Liberia is such a country. Are you saying that we don't maintain a digital database of all of our citizens and all the people who are naturalized citizens of the country? That is why we need technology in government. we need to digitize the government, government functions, government services. Everything needs to be digitized. You need to be able to sit in some office somewhere at the Liberia Immigration Service and just type in the person's name and the date of birth, and that information should be able to produce or pop up the full information about the person. We need to do that. All the people running for president, that's one thing I never hear them say. And to be honest, not even my own candidate, I don't hear them say that. We need to digitize the government. We need to digitize government. It's happening all over the world. The digitization of government services decreases the likelihood and the chances of corruption. It makes government more effective. It makes it more difficult to be corrupt. It makes it easy to access information. In this day and age, in the technological age, people are still using records. You go into the government offices. Who told you? You can scan all those records. When you digitize all those records you have from 1930, 1940, you can have them digitally scanned, and they can be uploaded into the database that can be accessed from absolutely anywhere. One of the things that I want to bring to the Liberian government is to digitize the Liberian government, the entire government service. You should be able to log in and be able to see what the condition or when a bridge was built somewhere in Harper or somewhere in Bond County. You should be able to see when, according to the engineering plan of that bridge, when that bridge needs to be maintained. And when that bridge is maintained, or when it is the last time it was serviced, you should be able to see the record that should show you the last time the bridge was serviced. You should be able to see when next the bridge is scheduled to be serviced. Or you should be able to see all these things. The status of an ongoing construction project. You should be able to see all of those things. You should be able to go online somewhere and be able to fill out a form for your passport and submit everything and go in only to do your biometric, do your fingerprint. But if you have already obtained a Liberian passport, you shouldn't have to do a biometric every single time, because your biometric footprint is already in the database, and the database stores it somewhere in the cloud. But apparently our politicians are still stuck in the 20th century. They're still stuck in the 20th century. All over the world, government services are being digitized. There's this company called Zipline, and you should look them up. Go on YouTube and watch the video. Zipline was first launched in Rwanda. Now they're in Ghana. Let me tell you a little bit about it. Zipline is a drone delivery service company. They are out there, and look, it's a beautiful technology. The other day I rewatched it and I said to myself, I'm going to bring this one to Liberia the day I have power. Look, Pwakai, Zipline, say a hospital somewhere in Zozo. Let's say the Telewayan Hospital. Pwakai, the Telewayan Hospital all the way up there in Lofa needs medical supplies. Say blood, for example. What does that hospital do? The hospital puts it in the system. They make the request. They make a request for whatever medical supplies they need. When that request goes in to the warehouse or to the where they store those supplies, they would then communicate that to the Zipline service, and they will put the blood or the drugs or whatever it is in the drone, and they would then shoot the drone or discharge the drone. And the drone would fly. The drone would fly all the way using GPS technology. It will fly all the way to Telewayan Hospital in Bonjama. And the drone would then drop that supply. It's not landing, it's just dropping it. It's just dropping it. It's going to drop off. It's just going to fall there. There's a small parachute which is there to break the impact of the fall. Look, our people are dummies. You need to digitize government services. Technology is the answer. They're doing it in Ghana. They're doing it in Rwanda. Look, Bwaka, in no rather than waiting for a car to go, it would take many long hours for these vehicles to go. No, the drone would go and drop the thing off, and the drone would come back to the zipline center where it was discharged from. This is the way we need to move Liberia. But you need the right government and the right leaders in power who think in this way, who are technologically conscious, and who understand the intrinsic value in digitization of government services, how it curbs, it reduces the chances of corruption, so revenue would increase. All this stuff, we're using plenty of human beings to do things. Human beings are corrupt. Technologists are not corrupt. Technologists do not accept bribes or do not take or request bribes. But to do that, you need the right leaders who think in that way. Who are, amen. Look, we have a long way to go. We have a long way to go. That is the only way. No, you don't need to do any address system, Brother Orlando. You know what? You are incorrect. You may not know, GPS system works in Liberia now. Just so you know, it works. The GPS technology works in Liberia right now. It may not be as accurate, but you can use GPS from point A to point B. The last time I was in Liberia, there were some friends who wanted to come to see me. And you know what I did? I just asked a friend to send me their location so that I could use the location to ask my driver to go and pick up the friend. Yes. My driver went and picked up my friend and brought my friend over. All my friend had to do was to send me their location. GPS. You just go there and copy your location and send your location. And it told me exactly. Another time, I had some friends who were at the Calabash when I was in Liberia. And where I was staying was only 11 minutes from the Calabash. And all my friend did was send me their location. And we were able to use it and go pick them up. Or I sent my location. That's what I did. I sent my location to my friends. And they were able to drive directly to me from the Calabash. It is working, brother. You know what? It is working. So you can use it. Google Map is working in Liberia. I've used it tons of times. Technology. You need leaders who are conscious, who are educated in this stuff, who appreciate the intrinsic value. We need to digitize government services. But to do that, you need the right crop of leaders to be able to do that. I'm telling you, the reason Liberia is backward is not because of the lack of resources. It's because of the lack of visionary and progressive leadership. That is why we are where we are. We think small, we act small, we are simple-minded, and we are mediocre. We are backward people. We're not poor because we are lacking in natural resources. We're not. We have immense natural resources, immense human resources. We need to develop them to be able to tap into them, to be able to unleash them and exploit their full potential for the growth and development of the country. But you need the right leadership to do that. That is where we are lacking. We are deficient in that area. Leaders with vision, leaders who think in the 21st century. Look at Paul Kagame. Look at what he's doing in Rwanda. Internet technologies everywhere. You think you can run a country with no stable internet? Every day I see people crying about internet in Liberia. I had to literally be carrying I had 2 cell phones. I got to be using the other cell phone with another SIM card in it to try to, because oh my God, it was just terrible. Nothing works in the country. Nothing works. Innovation, creativity, vision. Look, those are the things you need to develop any country. And I'm sorry. And I don't hear our people talking like this. I don't hear how people talk. I'm telling you, I don't hear any politician talking like this. Digitize government services. We can take the National Archives and digitize it. If Bwaga Kamara owns a parcel of land and he says the land belongs to him, that land deed has been digitized in the system, and a digital registration number has been assigned to that land deed. So when Bwakai says he wants to sell me the land, all I'm going to ask Bwakai for is not even a copy of his land deed. I'm just going to ask for Bwakai's land digital registration number. Bwakai, what is your land digital registration number? Bwakai will just send me his digital registration number for his land. All I do is that I log onto a website, a government website, the National Archives, where all the land records should be kept, and I enter Bwakai's land digital registration number. What happens? It's going to pop up. It's going to show me that the land was bought by Bwakai Kamara from John Brown on the 13th of February, 2014, and the land is located in this area, the meets and bounds, the diagram of the deed and everything would be there, and everything, the surveyor who surveyed the land, all the details would be there. Why do you want to do that? Because that way, I don't have to go and buy land from the wrong person. No criminal would sell somebody else's land to me, because all I would need from you in order to buy your land is to give me a land digital registration number, which I will put in the database, and the database will tell me. How hard is that to do? Because our people are stupid. Our leaders are small-minded, stupid people. They don't think. They don't have brains. Other countries are doing it. But your leaders don't think. I'm sorry. That is why you are where you are. We've had the fiber optic internet technology. It made landfall in Liberia in 2011, thanks largely to a huge investment from the World Bank. Some $19 million was pulled into bringing fiber optic technology to our country. And since that time, how long has it been? We do not have decent internet in the country. Not because you do not have the capacity to deliver high-speed internet technology that other people in other parts of the world are enjoying. Like we here in the United States, fiber optic is what I have. You have fiber optic technology in your country. Liberians are so dumb and so incompetent that they brought the ACE cable to Liberia in 2011. And that ACE cable has made absolutely no difference, because our people are stupid people and they're dumb people. The cable came when Ellen was president.
Yeah.
It's made no difference. Internet is still very bad. Why? Because Liberians who are in charge don't know their left from their right. And the people in power, the politicians, are so stupid, they don't understand and appreciate that in this day and age, no company would come to your country and want to do business and want to improve on these things. Want to do business if you don't have decent, stable, reliable internet, if you don't have decent, stable, and affordable electricity in this day and age. You don't have those things. And you're talking about, oh, we'll build a country, we'll build a country. You don't want the salt you eat. You don't want the salt. And these are the things that the politicians must be telling us in this day and age. Digitizing. Why? You go to some government offices where you go there and queue up for many long hours just to do a simple thing. Today, you go to register. My company, Costa Therapeutics in the United States, right? My company was created in 2021. Now, I'm in the process of converting my company from an LLC to an S corporation. All I had to do was to call LegalZoom. LegalZoom is a company that registers business. They can register your businesses for you. You don't even need to see them. You speak with them on the phone. They create a portal. You make your payment over the phone, and bam, you have a customer account, and they do everything for you without even laying eyes on them. You don't have to go to a government office to do absolutely anything. I called LegalZoom. I said, I want to convert my company to an S corp for certain reasons, which I will not say here. And they said, look, the expedited service is $742. I paid the $742 over the phone because I want an expedited service. Then they said, you have to pay the annual state tax of $300 for a corporation in Delaware. I paid the $300. And guess what? It's on course. In the next 10 days or less, I will have my papers. They will send me my documents electronically from the Delaware Department of State. The documents will come to me to my portal, which I can download. And then they will also send me something that looks like this. Hold on. In the mail. You see here? Costa Therapeutics. That's it right there. Costa Therapeutics LLC. This photo has everything in it. Okay. They sent it to me in the mail when the company was created, including the company's stamp, including the stamp. They stamp for the company. Everything is sent to you in the mail. Everything. This is what we are talking about. This is all the paperwork. They send it to you. Why the hell do you have to go? Why the hell do you have to go to a stupid government office and sit down there for days and they say, you go right there, they missing down, they print it out, and we got to put a generator on, the people got to service the printer. You don't need printer. I can create a portal, create the Liberia Business Registry, website where I can log in, give you the particulars of my company, tell you who the incorporator is, fill out a form, pay the fee using my bank card or my mobile money account, submit the form, and you send me the documents I need to sign. I sign the document, I fax it or I email it and scan it, attach it, and email it to you, and you do everything and just upload the thing to my portal. Hey man, why was stupid like this? So why was stupid like this? So why are we so stupid? And then you think you will go for? You don't. You don't need to be there. You don't need to go to government office to get a company registered. You don't need to do that. But you have all these people there working. They can't even get your paperwork. The other day we have one market woman calling. You remember what she said? She was trying to renew her articles of incorporation. And it was wasting time. And it was absolutely her ability to transact with the bank because she was trying to get a bank loan or something. But she could not get her articles of incorporation renewed because they said the printer was not working. Who told you you need printer to be working? Why do we not have sense in our country? The leaders we have are mostly idiots and small-minded people. Let's go to the phone line. And you know me, I'll tell you the truth. That is exactly why we are the way we are. You don't want to hear that, but that is the truth. You can digitize. Look, we can digitize every freaking government service. We can take it from here. We can take it from here. We can take it from here. We can digitize every freaking government service. Yeah. Yeah, my document here. I just showed it to you. For example, if I want to sell shares in my company to somebody, I got the share certificates here. They're all in here. All I need to do, the share certificate, I just put it here. Membership, interest, transfer, ledger. Every time I sell shares, I just read it inside here. That's the way you do it. Liberia, we're a miserable country. Let's go to the phone lines and take some calls.
Before we can go to the phone line, Costa, I told you about a statement that Senator Edwin Mervyn Snow made yesterday on a local radio station.
What did Edwin Snow say?
Edwin Snow Benson with this.
The man's name is Ugly Snow.
Ugly. He been seen with this government here and there fighting for the re-election of President George Weah. So yesterday he got invited by a local radio station, and what Snow said is that the CDC government delayed to pay $5 million USD to Western Liberia, says that the act of this is undermining the re-election of President George Weah.
Hold on. Did Edwin Snow say? Did Edwin Snow suddenly become an advocate for the people of Bumi?
Absolutely.
When was the last time you ever heard in Edwin Snow's miserable, corrupt life? When was the last time did you ever hear him advocate for anything other than something for himself? Please tell me.
No way. And even the money he's talking about, he's going to benefit hugely. That's why he's now advocating.
So the government, so the same money they owe, the same type of money, which is what? Social development money that the companies are supposed to pay to the...
This money is from Western Cluster. So the government's owing Bumi, Bapolu, and keep bound $5 million. So up to now, they haven't paid. They see money that how they call him.
You know, they're talking about the 7.7 million.
7.5 million. Now Eddie Snow is now becoming an overnight advocate for the people of Bomi and saying that
Snow is, let me tell you what Snow is on. Snow does nothing for nothing. Snow is trying to find a way to pacify the people of Bomi because they're angry with him. How long has the government been owing this money? For a few years now, I suppose.
Mhm.
So you telling me Edwin Snow only became aware now that the government owes these people money? Is that what you're telling me?
That's what he's saying.
That is not the truth. Snow is in hot water with the people of Bomi. So he's trying to pacify the people. He's trying to placate the people to assuage their legitimate anger toward him for his pivotal role he played, his sinister, parochial, and pivotal role he played in the whole Bomi thing. Just the whole Western cluster thing. Just so you know, the folks who organized, who went to court, petitioning the Supreme Court to issue a prohibition on the operations of Western Cluster. They've reached out to me and they have asked me to help raise funds for them to pay their lawyers, their legal team. So they've reached out. The other day we had Senator Sandra Johnson on, former Bomi Senator Sandra Johnson. They sent me the agreement or promissory note, which would suffice as an agreement that they struck with the lawyers. They owe the lawyers, I think, about $4,000. That's what the lawyers have charged them. And that is what they need to pay to the lawyers. And so they've asked me, because they know we raise funds here for a lot of things. Now, we're not from Bomi. Yes, we're not from so many other places that we've raised money for, and people from other places that we don't even know. So they've asked us to help raise funds for them to pay their lawyers. Now, I don't know what you make of it. I'm bringing this to you, members of the public. Should we assist? Now, if you say yes, you must be willing to give some of the money. There's the only condition on which you should say yes. If you say yes, we should help raise money to foot the legal bill of the citizens' action, legal action brought against Western Cluster, then you should be willing to contribute. My brother McDonald Flumo Yangwe says no. My man, if I tell you to say yes, you will say yes. And McDonald, say yes. say yes. Support a good cause. McDonald is my brother. When I tell you to say yes, he will say yes. He will teach his yes. I mean his no to a yes right now. So should we assist these people? They're not calling you cheap. You're a cheap boy. You're buy those expensive sneakers. Those expensive sneakers are where the money can go. And those expensive clothes.
I've been holding me up to that. He pay me yet. Darlington calling holding me.
Yeah. Dying not calling. Support a good cause. Oh, my brother McDonald just said I will consider it. McDonald, I like that. It changes small. From no to we will consider it. I like that. Dying not calling. Look, forgo one nice pair of sneakers and contribute to this. Do it for Bomi. Do it for Bomi. Help the people of Bomi. I don't have to do it. I'm not a son of Bomi. But Bomi is part of Liberia. So thank you, my brother McDonald Flumo say he will support. Beautiful. There we go. Diana Collins he's that boy loves sneakers. So let me tell you a secret. Oh, my brother McDonald Flumo say he'll contribute 100 US. There we go. I told you that's my brother. Once I ask him nicely, he will contribute to a good cause. Now, let me say this to you. Lots of people say they will contribute. Let's help them. Judge Yami Kwekwe Bese has already issued a prohibition to halt the operations of the Western Cluster. But I tried to get Senator Sandra Johnson on the line. We need to help raise small money for them. We could begin that this morning, or we could set a time. We can bring them back here on Friday, and we can raise some money. But let's just get him on the phone briefly so that he can talk to us about what they need to do. I will personally contribute also anything that benefits the people. I'm all a part of it. Diana Collins, let me tell you about Diana Collins, what my junior brother does. The other day we went, where did we go? We traveled somewhere together. And something came up and he was telling me about his sneakers collection. That boy got more sneakers than shoes. So he was telling me he has subscribed to this website that gave him heads up before the sneakers are released, the latest sneakers. Before they are even released, Darrington College knows where they're going to be released. He knows how much they're going to cost. He knows where to buy them in order to buy them for a good deal. He knows where the good deals are. You know, the boy loves sneakers. How many pairs of sneakers do I have? Maybe what, 5, 6? For the most part, yeah, 5, 6. That's all. That's all. I have more loafers and shoes than sneakers. Perhaps it's because I was not really athletic, so I'm not really a sneakers guy. But Darrington College, you shall spare one pair of sneakers money and contribute to this cause. You are on a revolutionary mandate. Do not betray the struggle for sneakers. All right. The boy loves sneakers. All right, folks. You see, let me tell you something. Because when I was growing up, I had so little. I was not used to having so much. So let me tell you something. When I see my shoes, my sneakers, my loafers, and everything, I feel like, hey man, when do I wear some of these things? When do I wear? I start feeling guilty. Are you the type of person that has so much, whether it's in clothing or it's in what shoes or whatever, that you begin to feel guilty that you have so much, that you have so much more, that you feel like, I'm that type of person. Yes, I am that type of person. I feel like, when am I going to wear some of these things? When do I ever wear some of these things? I feel guilt. I feel that guilt all the time. I feel that guilt because I grew up having very little or nothing. And nothing. So I feel that. I'll be like, why do I got all these things, all these suits, $800-900 suits. I got tons of them. I'd be like, when last did I even wear out a suit? Maybe a year ago or 2 years ago. I feel guilty. I really feel guilty. Yeah. So that is something. I feel that. And that's why I try to assuage my guilt by doing as much as I can. It's intrinsically my nature, but I just love to help people. It makes me feel good about myself as a human being. I love to help people. So, Baga, let's try to get Senator Sandro Johnson on the line. We're going to speak to him this morning, and we're going to try to do some of this thing this morning to see who all can contribute today. You may contribute. We want to help the people of Bombay County so that they can be able to pay for their lawyers so that they can continue this case. Associate Justice, who is a justice in chamber presiding at the Supreme Court, Justice Yami Kwekwe-Gbese, issued a prohibition on the operations of Western Cluster until the case is looked into, and if grounds are established, that temporary prohibition might be made permanent. Of course, the lawyers know this thing better. They can explain it much better than I can. So we're gonna try to do that this morning. Anybody who can chip in this morning, I'm gonna, usually when we're doing fundraiser, I don't like the money to come to me. I always designate somebody that I trust that can collect the money. A friend of mine, Christian, all the way there in Australia. I will not call his full name, but Christian says he will contribute $100. Christian, all the way there in Australia, just message me. Christian, good, but it should be good afternoon to you. What time is it now in Australia? Yes. Thank you, my brother. He says he will contribute $100. This is for a good cause. We need to help the people to fight the battle. We can't just sit down and we all complain. We need to help. This is what we all can do. So it's in the evening. Good. Good evening, Christian. I hope you're doing great. So I'm going to go here and provide my sister Winifred Johnson's phone number. It's Cash App and Zelle, and you can send your contributions there. But let's get Senator Sandro Johnson on the phone to speak with him this morning and tell him that the people say we should help them. We should help raise money for them to fight their case. I like it when some of my detractors, Costa ready for the fundraiser. They never give a dime to anything. They always have a problem when you are trying to support a good cause. But we don't mind that. We don't mind the noise in the market. We'll still do what we ought to do to help. So that's it. That is the Cash App and the Zelle. That's the number right there. It's +1 763 568 8538. I'm going to repeat that number. It is +1 763 568 8538. Sister Winifred.
Okay, we have Senator Dazo Johnson now with us. Good morning, Senator. Welcome.
Good morning, Waka, and good morning, Costa.
Good morning, Senator. Can you hear me?
I'm great.
Okay, Senator, we considered your request, which is a legitimate request to support the legal effort, and the Costa Show has decided to come in with you morally as well as being a strategic partner in raising funds for the very good cause. We put it before our people this morning, and the majority of them say we should do it. We should help raise funds to support this good cause. Nobody, neither you nor any other member of the team, should have to put their hand in the pocket to support this effort. So we are raising money. Some people have already made pledges, and we'll raise some money. We are beginning this morning to help with this cause. But so we would like to just, thank our people for offering to help, to contribute financially, and also to bring us up to speed with where we are. Where are we with the current effort to ensure that this Western cluster thing is brought to that we can actually do something about this? Where are we?
Thank you very much, Costa, and we appreciate your effort and that of the Roof FM family. Yes, we are at the Supreme Court level right now. Yesterday, we had a pre-trial with the Justice in Chima, Justice BC, and they are covering very well. And so we decided, because there is a legal battle, it's going to be a long legal battle as we see it, we might likely end up with the full Supreme Court judges to make a decision. That is our anticipation. So we, according to our goodwill friends, well-meaning Liberians, people from Bomi, who are in support of this cause, because we are fighting a just cause, we are fighting a cause for our people, and not only Bomi, but Liberia, because we feel that our people have been cheated, our people have been robbed by some greedy politicians in our mix. And so that's why we launched this fundraiser to be able to raise sufficient money to be able to pay our lawyers. Our lawyers are doing extremely well. And so that's why we are appealing to everybody from all walks of life who mean very well for our country and our country to come in to help us. We've been trying on our own resources. Some of our brothers in the diaspora are trying. All of us in Liberia are trying. So we are doing this as call, so that they can join us in this fight. Some of them might not be in the position to speak because they may not have the time to do so. And so we are taking the fire, we are taking the bullet, and so we want them to join us. And we also want you to help us in this direction.
Okay, that's very, very good, Senator. Let me also ask you, what did I want to ask? It just slipped my mind. So this matter right now, the Justice in Chamber issued a writ of, he granted your petition for a prohibition, and the prohibition was granted to halt the operations of Western Cluster. Can you say that their operations have been halted?
Well, Costa, I will plead with you because I'm not getting you too clearly. So
okay,
I will
please.
if I just read your questions, and I'll be able to properly answer them because I'm not getting you too clearly.
Because you are asking?
I was asking whether he can say for that the operations have actually been halted, that there are no ongoing operations at Western Cluster as a result of the Associate Justice's prohibition.
Well, yes, the place is still order, and then by this week, we are sure by this week or early next week, the justice will rule to grant the final prohibition. And if that is done, then we'll be on our way to the full the member of the Supreme Court bench to make a decision. So we are waiting now for the ruling from the justice based on what happened yesterday during the pre-trial conference.
Okay.
Senator, I want to thank you very much. And just while you were speaking, we've already raised $200, just about $200.
Say that for me, boy, guys.
Yeah, but he said while you were speaking, he have already raised $200. So the process is on. Anything will get to you soon.
Okay, and we want to appreciate the effort. Thanks ever so much. There is a Costa. We know who you are, and we look up to. We will do well. We're not going to rest. We're going to push this matter. We are testing the court. We want to know what the court will do. But this is a long battle. We are not going to rest until the right things are done, until the book of MOU signed by a few government officials, being influenced by Mr. Snow, until that book of MOU is trashed and put aside and revert to the MDA. We will not rest in this battle. So thank you ever so much. We appreciate you, and may God richly bless you.
Thank you, Senator Johnson. Well, folks, there you have it. Now, you don't have to send $100 or $200 or even $50. You can send $10. You can send $20. You can send $15. Whatever you can send. But the more people who send, the whole idea is the trick behind fundraising is not how much each person gives. It's how many people. It's the number of people who give, not how much each of them gives. So that is the whole strategy. So you can have 100 people send $10 for each. That's a lot of money. You can have 500 people send $5. That's a lot of money. So you all can chip in just $10, $20. Oh, my sister said we now have $347. That is beautiful. If you add my brother Christian's $100 pledge, which I know certainly is money in the thing, we're going to make it. Yeah, it is the number of people who give. So don't say, oh, I ain't got much. I only got $5 is something. Trust me. The smallest unit is what 1 cent, and then it goes up, right? 1 cent, 2 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents, 4 cents. That's what it is. So we talk. We must also walk the talk. We want the right thing to be done. Sometimes we have to do it. We have to get involved ourselves. We have to contribute. We have to put our money where our mouths are. Ellen Paul, you are asking, I assume you just joined in. We're trying to raise money to help the bombing citizens who went to court to have the Western Cluster operation stop. Just so you know, for those of you who don't know what this is all about, here is what it is all about. The Western Cluster, there is a concession agreement. That concession agreement was amended. It has to go to the legislature. It has to go to the legislature for ratification. It has not been ratified. Then 3 or 4 government ministers went and drew up an MOU, a memorandum of understanding. They don't have the legitimate authority to do that. They drew up a memorandum of understanding authorizing the agreement to come, the operations of the company to come into effect. Okay, let me try to break it down for you. The mineral development agreement is what by law should be in place in order for Western Cluster or the company to extract or to exploit the iron ore or develop the iron ore from Western Cluster. To exploit, that's the more appropriate word. To exploit the iron ore. That MDA or Mineral Development Agreement is not in place as we speak. A draft amended version was submitted or is to be submitted, but it has not been ratified. So currently, by law, that company should not be operating or exploiting iron ore because it does not have an existing MDA in place. But 3 or 4 government ministers sat down by themselves and said, you know what, let's sign an MOU. Influenced by Edwin Snow, they pay them money, they sign an MOU, and they said, while the MDA is pending ratification before the legislature, the MOU should suffice to give authority or authorization to the company or permission to the company to proceed to exploit. What? How can you say that? How can you say that an MOU is enough, is sufficient permission or authorization for a company to go and exploit iron ore? An MOU signed by a few government officials? That is crazy, folks. That is crazy. So, folks, that is the situation. That is the situation. So, they don't want the MOU. I mean, they don't want the MOU to be in place. The citizens of Bomi are not saying that Western Cluster should not operate in Bomi. They are saying, do it the right way. We want the MDA ratified, because in the MDA, the benefits that the people should get. Who is this other person telling me the word is explode and not exploit? You exploit a mineral resource. First, you conduct exploration to identify the resource. And once you have conducted exploration and you have data to show that there is sufficient and justifiable deposit of that resource, you can now exploit. That is the word. So those two words can be used, but not interchangeably. One word means something different and the other word means something different. You explore first and then you exploit later. What Western Cluster now wants to do is to exploit. That means to take the iron ore out and ship it out, transport it by trucks. So don't come here and come try to talk something here that I know what I'm saying. Exploration is different from exploitation. Let's get it straight. So these sons and daughters of Bomi have gone to court. They went to the Supreme Court, to the justice in chamber. We now have $400 US in cash. $400 US we have in cash. They went to the Supreme Court, to the justice in chamber, and they said, Your Honor, we want this operation stopped because the operation is not legitimate. Their authorization or the permission to do this operation is not consistent with law. The law, the mineral development law of the country or the mining law of the country is very clear. There must be an MDA in place, a mineral development agreement in place in order for a company to begin to exploit natural resources. First, you need exploration license. That's a different thing. After you've conducted your exploration and you present your data and you're convinced that there is sufficient deposit of that mineral resource in a particular location, which you were licensed to explore, then you now proceed to get your mineral development agreement or your license to exploit and develop the mineral resource. So they don't have that yet in place. They have an amended version. They have an amended version at the legislature. So that is why the last time the Liberian Senate took a decision to say that we do not recognize the, the MOU, because the MOU seeks to usurp the function of the legislature in part, and of course, the executive branch of government. Because an MOU signed by a few government officials does not suffice. It is not enough. So now we're giving mineral resources that were based on MOUs issued by a few ministers. No, we already know how corrupt the system is. Even the legislature can be bought. What more about four officials of government? Four government ministers? It's easy to bribe them. So that's what the case is about. But we're going to go to the phone lines and take some calls there to get our people to chime in. But so we're raising money to help them with their legal to foot the legal bill of this case. Let's take some calls, Brian. We've got just a few minutes to go. So let's take a few calls, maybe about 5 calls, and then we'll call it.
All right. Phone lines are open now on 0770-102-102-86. 01038355102. The WhatsApp number is +231 888 624171. Keep your calls coming in, and you will be live with us here this morning on the show. Let's see if we can take this person from the WhatsApp number this morning. Let's take this caller here. Good morning.
Let's see. Yeah, hello.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Buaka.
Go ahead, you're live.
Good morning, Costa. Right. Good morning. I just want to pinpoint a few things, yeah, regarding the. Right. First of all,
please go ahead. You are live on the show. Stop listening to the receiver.
First of all, regarding the registration voters.
Oh. Okay, sorry. You are here every day. You know the way that we do it here. So that will take another person. If you call, stop listening to the receiver and listen to me chew your phone. That's all. That's all I need. Then we can have a unique conversation. 0770-102-102. That will take this person here. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Costa. Good morning, Buaka. This is Bruce calling from Minute.
Welcome.
Costa, about the Abodike issue. Now, they are confirming him as a citizen of Liberia by now. So, all the activities, all the positions, even those he represented at the court few years ago when he said he's a Liberian. So he was represented or doing those things illegally. Because I myself, I will institute a case against Liberian government. Because the same Abodike claimed that he's representing his clients on the case between I and him that meant me to lose almost $10 million US vessel, $10 million US vessel that my uncle gave to me to bring to Liberia for a business. And Abodike forged a document, claimed that the vessel is representing somebody. And he went to the court. We went to the court. He represented himself severally at the court. And Judge Yusuf Dikaba is a witness that Judge Yusuf Kaba granted him this is what they call it. I don't understand. I may not be exactly the legal terms they are using. So we went through the case. That is what they call it. We went through the case, just like that, until the vessel sank. So are you telling me that President, we are granting him a citizenship now, today? Meaning that all those things he did yesterday was forged. And again, President Weah and his allies should understand that Stanton Waterspoon is a Liberia, and he's facing the same case allegedly in America. And what they call the other man who was a presidential candidate for one of the parties that lost his life, the same forgery, the same criminal this thing he's facing. And Abodike is pampered in Liberia. So today, all those activities, the position that he occupied in Liberia was illegal. So it is now the people should stand against him and go to the court. All so right. What President Weah is doing with his boys is wrong.
All right, thank you so
much. Myself, I will go.
Let's take other people on the line. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, brother, and good morning, the leader.
Welcome.
Okay, yeah, my name is Electoral, this number 13, why COB coordinator. Brother, my serious concern is that it is true that we are raising the money for bombing country people. But I have still different with Standard Dazo Johnson. Because it is true that Standard Dazo Johnson or he bear with every slow when it comes to bombing country people. So myself, after when Standard Dazo Johnson came up for it, they use what in our country and they went there, they made Dazo Dabo. But you know, it is true that you are sent for people and you want to see it better than like when somebody do wrong, you want to say that, and they are bringing the issue in view because Standard Dazo Johnson are knowing. Because maybe everybody know that to him or everybody know doing that, having something will happen.
Thank you so much. Let me take another person.
When were Senator Johnson and Edwin Snow ever friends or ever partners? Do you recall? I do not recall. It's not to my knowledge. I mean, I may be wrong, but yeah, I don't know. Were they ever allies? I don't know. I'm just confused. I'm not saying what my brother who just left the line said. It's not true. That's not what I'm saying, but I do not know. Were they ever cool? I don't know. But anyway, go ahead. You may know something that I don't know, but go on.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Costa. Good morning, Buaka. I'm calling from the United Kingdom. I just want to pinpoint some stuff. You know, regarding the voters registration, can Costa, on behalf of COP, write the NEC about the situation, because it's a sign of rigging.
We are not
the
saying
earlier the better. If the opposition parties cannot do something, can the COP write the NEC on behalf of the Liberian people and CC the other organization?
All right.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. We cannot. We cannot, not because we do not want to, but because we do not have standing to do that. The Elections Commission is under no obligation to honor or respond to any communication from the COP because we don't have standing. If we were a political party in good standing with the Elections Commission, then we would have standing to write a letter, which should provoke a response from the Elections Commission. But if we wrote them in our name as a pro-democracy organization, we would not have standing. So we cannot write them, sir. No, we cannot. Let's take some more calls, Debora. We'll take let's take 3 more calls. Let's make it 3. No, we cannot. We can raise concern, but the NEC does not have to write us back. But if a political party in good standing wrote to the NEC would have to respond. The NEC would be an obligation to respond. Sometimes you don't let me hear the truth, but I will tell you the truth.
Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Kamara, and good morning to our leader, Henry Petro Costa. For the public, I am the religious advisor to the Costa Show, and I call for legalism this morning. You know, leader, thank you. You know, sometimes when you're raising these issues, you know, it get to me so much. It's like you and I sat down yesterday and we discussed it. It was on the basis of that for me, I personally placed my call to the chairman of the Unity Party. They are sitting supinely. Because can you imagine, look at the timing of the National Election Commission, but opposition has never come up to say a thing, a word to them. So they want to sit down right after election, then they will say, oh, we're cheated. It will be belated. They shouldn't do this, man. And that is why 67 years old Omar sat down with him as he placed a call to the chairman also and told him that you people are not working, you're sitting down too much. One Costa will sit down on his show and talk about national issue from there and there. And Costa is, I always said this, that Costa is not a spokesman for the Unity Party. You got to try and wear this thing out, man. Thank you for a 40-minute time.
Thank you so
My
much.
brother, you are right. Our people need to stand up and work. I agree with you. Some of you don't understand. Finish what I call first. Then I will say this.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. 1 minute.
Thank you, Baga, and thank you for the recognition. Leader and father, good morning. Momo Critical Johnson, the chairman of the Martin Board of Justice, is son of Bomi County, Senior District number 1, respectively. No, let me say this, leader, you need to be very clear with us. First of all, I want to know what our Senator Dazo Johnson has received a membership form with the Council of Patriots. That is number 1. Number 2, I want to budget Jim Saki. Look, let me say this. I ask the Almighty Allah in heaven to open door for you and all of those who contributed towards our case in Bomi County. But that shouldn't be like we're doing it for Senator Dazo Johnson, because no matter my own uncle in the land near Johnson, Mania Johnson, I understand. And so just conclude, it is true. Jim Saki said, every Melvin Snow, when you won the election, Alex Delegate Tyler and Senator Dazo Johnson and Dr. Richard Divine, they all started to work with every Melvin Snow. So Senator Johnson and Father Elvis Snow disagree with me to share the $4 million with him. And what you see, he coming up, but again, congratulations. We want to know whether if Senator Dazo Johnson have come back because he destroyed the COP, so then the COP raising money to help Bomi County case. It is sad, it is disheartening, and
All right,
some
Momo.
yes, thank you.
Okay, Momo, bye. Thank you so much, Momo. Let me say this. The COP does a lot of good for so many people who are not members of the COP. We sat on this very platform, we raised $10,000 for a group called Teach for Liberia, or Teach Liberia, something like that. They're a nonprofit. They train teachers and place them in classrooms in impoverished or underserved communities. We raised $10,000 to help them. They had a funding drought. We helped them, $10,000 on this platform. We also raised $11,000 for Liberian students who were studying in Ukraine when the war broke out. They were dispersed right across Europe, and they were going through very difficult times. We raised $11,000 for them. You think those Liberian students are members of the COP? No, they are not. We've raised money. The last time a group from Colorado, my friend Ebenezer Norman and the rest, they were raising money. They got a container. They got $1 million worth of brand new medical equipment and supplies. They needed to ship that container to Liberia. We raised money. We raised about $10,000 to help them. About $10,000 to help them ship the container. They needed 17. I think, what did we raise? Yeah, we raised about $10,000, and we give that money to them. And I could go on and on and on and on. So you don't have to be a member of the COP for us to come to support you. You don't have to be a member or a supporter of Henry Costa for us to support the cause that you do. So we raise money from people from all walks of life. From all walks of life. So I just want you to understand that. And also, even if Senator Johnson decided after the election in Bombay, in which he participated and lost, that he wanted to support Edwin Snow as the senator, there's nothing wrong with that. That's political maturity. But at some point, they no longer saw eye to eye on issues about the county, and they took on different paths or separate paths. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. So for you to say that just because they were once friends and now he opposes him on an issue that benefits the people, that means we should have a problem. We should not raise money for them. I disagree with you. And then back to the other issue that has a lot of you concerned. Some of you are asking me that Maston Boyd, you see, some of you, what I don't like about you, when you don't know something, you keep arguing with people. We've tried in the past to even file lawsuits using our organization. First of all, you have to be registered to even file a lawsuit. That's one. Number two, you have to have standing to even file a lawsuit. The COP is a pressure group. We do not have standing to write NEC. For NEC, NEC is not under obligation to respond to us. We can criticize NEC, we can raise issues, but when we write to the NEC is not under obligation to write us back or to say or to explain itself to us or to address itself to any issues we might raise in that communication. Some of you don't like to hear the truth and you don't like to be educated on things that you do not know. We all learn from time to time. There was a time I used to think that any Joe Blow can get up and go and sue someone in government or a government entity or someone. But no, you cannot. You have to have standing. You have to be personally affected by that thing in order to be able to go and sue. You have to have standing. When I say standing, you don't understand. You have to have legal standing. You have to have grounds to do that. You have to be personally affected by that, not generally affected, but personally affected. Does the NEC behavior of incompetence and all of that, does it affect all of us as Liberian citizens in general? Yes, it does. Does it mean that every Liberian citizen can go and sue the NEC? No, every Liberian citizen cannot go and sue the NEC. When I explain it, some of you want to argue, you cannot do it. We don't have standing. When the Elections Commission is having workshops or events, you know who they deal with? They have workshops only for political parties. They may have some workshops where civil society groups may come and attend, but you don't have standing. You don't agree with my argument, that is your business. Then you go and write the neck. When people try to educate you because you don't want to listen and learn, then you argue. That is what Liberians are good for. You don't have standing. The COP is not personally affected by the Election Commission issue. We are not. Go speak with a lawyer. A lawyer will tell you we do not have standing to go and sue the Election Commission because we are not a political party that is supposed to be participating in a process organized by the Election Commission. That is what you call standing. But when we're talking, you are not here because you operate based on your feelings. Like the last time I told you, when some of you were saying, after the individuals that were sanctioned, McGill, Bill Trawe, and Serena Cephas, what did you all say? Oh, the government should seize the assets. I said, no. By law, you cannot seize the assets because guess what? The Liberian jurisdiction, different from the American jurisdiction, we are a sovereign state. You say, oh, the men defending the people. That is what happens to people when they don't want to get educated. Of course, what happened, guy? The American MSA people, they did not go on radio and say the exactly the same thing I said?
Yeah, they said that.
Which radio station they appear on? Did the American people appear on? OK FM.
OK FM, yeah.
The American MSA people appeared on OK FM and they said the sanctions are not legal instruments that have weight in Liberia. They said that. They said the American sanctions do not have weight in, so it is not a judicial action. It is a political action of the United States government. Even if it were a judicial action of the United States government, it does not have jurisdiction in a sovereign state. When we're talking, you're not one year, the Americans have to go on radio to say, my people, they sanction here that American government political action to protect the national security interests of America. The Liberian government cannot seize the people's assets because of the American sanction. When we talk, oh, Costa want to defend the people. They will see it. Costa want back a friend McGill because you are not educated about these things. So you argue. When we talk, they say we're arrogant. You don't understand. Get educated on these issues. The Americans themselves appear on OK FM and they told the people the sanctions do not apply in Liberia. Liberia is a sovereign state. Sometimes people want to educate you. You say people want to they know more, or people want to they don't want. You don't know it. A great philosopher once said, he who knows not, he who knows that he knows not is teachable. Help him. He who knows not, but knows not that he knows not is a fool. I'm pretty sure I'm mixing it up. I'm not saying it the right way. But the person who he know that they not know nothing, that fool, ignore them. So that is the thing. When we tell y'all will be arguing, oh, the men want to defend people. No, we are educating you. Our job is to educate you. We are not even registered in Liberia. The government of Liberia collected our money for registration. And what did they do, Bagay? They refused to register the COP. The government refused to register the COP. So we are not a registered. The first thing you need to do as a civil society group or as an organization before you go to court, you must be a registered organization in the country. You must present your articles of incorporation. You must also present a board resolution from your organization approving this legal action. We cannot even do that as a COP because the government refused to register us. So we are not legally registered in Liberia because the government refused to register us. But when we tell you, I know some of you say, COP can go to court. How can you go to court when the law is that you must be registered? You must be registered before you even go to court as a civil society group or as an organization. You must show bold resolution that the board of the organization or the leadership of the organization approved this legal action. You can put pressure as much as we're doing. Some of you are stuck in your twisted thinking. So there's nothing I can say that will make you open your mind. A philosopher said, to learn, before you learn, you must first realize and accept that you know nothing. And the only way you can learn, you must say that I do not know this. You have to be willing to accept and embrace knowledge before you learn. But when you think you know and you're arguing based on your sentiments, then you got a problem. You're limited. For me, I know that I don't know everything. I try to learn every day. I try to learn something new. Nobody knows it all. But you stuck in your stupid way of thinking that we can go and write NEC and NEC will be forced to respond to us. NEC will not be forced to respond to us because you know what? We are not a stakeholder. We do not have standing to write NEC. Now, you who want to remain a fool, remain a fool. But we who know that we not know all and we want to learn, we'll open our minds and we'll learn new things. Thank you so much. God bless you. Bye-bye.